What if the system that built our modern world is also the one quietly tearing it apart? Because despite all the progress, luxury, and innovation, billions still ask, is capitalism truly the best we can do? From Wall Street to Silicon Valley, capitalism is often hailed as humanity's ultimate invention, a system that fuels ambition, rewards creativity, and turns ideas into empires. But behind the skyscrapers and success stories lies a growing unease, rising inequality, environmental collapse, and a feeling that something isn't quite right. In this video, we'll explore whether there's a better economic system than capitalism, not through ideology, but through evidence, history, and vision. Stay with me, because the answer might surprise you. For most of human history, wealth was static. Kingdoms ruled, farmers worked, and life barely changed for centuries. Then came capitalism, an idea so radical it reshaped civilization. When markets were freed and private ownership encouraged, innovation exploded. Steam engines, electricity, the internet, all born from competition and the promise of profit. Capitalism unleashed incentives. It rewarded risk-taking and punished inefficiency. According to the World Bank, global poverty fell from over 35% in 1990 to less than 9% today, largely due to capitalist reforms in Asia and elsewhere. It's easy to see why defenders call capitalism the greatest engine of prosperity ever built. But engines, if left unchecked, can also overheat. For every billionaire born from capitalism's promise, there are millions trapped in its shadow. Today, the richest 1% own more than half the world's wealth. And while markets innovate, they also exploit. The same system that gives us smartphones gives others sweatshops. And then there's the planet. Capitalism thrives on endless growth, but our planet has limits. From deforestation to carbon emissions, profit often outweighs preservation. Even capitalism's biggest supporters admit its success depends on infinite consumption in a world that's very finite. So the question isn't whether capitalism works. It clearly does. The question is, can it work without destroying everything else? In theory, socialism replaces private ownership with public control. Factories, farms, and resources are shared, ensuring fairness over profit. It sounds noble. No billionaires, no exploitation. But in practice, history paints a mixed picture. The Soviet Union industrialized rapidly and achieved literacy and healthcare for all, yet stagnated under bureaucracy and lack of incentive. China, on the other hand, adopted a market socialism hybrid, allowing private enterprise under state oversight, creating the world's fastest economic rise. So maybe it's not about choosing capitalism or socialism, but balancing them. Countries like Sweden, Norway, and Denmark show another path. They kept the free market but built strong safety nets, universal healthcare, education, and high taxes on the wealthy. The result? High living standards, low poverty, and a sense of social trust rarely seen elsewhere. Economists call it social democracy, capitalism moderated by compassion. Then there's a quieter revolution happening at ground level: worker cooperatives. In Spain's Mondragon Corporation, over 80,000 employees own their workplace, making decisions collectively, sharing profits, and sustaining the business for decades. It's capitalism, but with democracy infused into the core of production itself. Finally, some thinkers argue the true alternative isn't a new system, but a new goal. Instead of chasing infinite GDP growth, they advocate degrowth, an economy focused on well-being, balance, and ecological survival. They argue endless growth on a finite planet isn't progress, it's suicide. But here's the dilemma. Every alternative seems to trade one strength for another weakness. Socialism curbs inequality, but risks inefficiency. Capitalism fuels innovation, but breeds inequality. Social democracy balances both, but only in nations small enough and cohesive enough to sustain high trust. And as global crises like climate change and automation grow, even capitalism's defenders are asking, can we upgrade capitalism before it collapses under its own success. Capitalism's genius lies in its decentralization. No one plans the economy, yet somehow everything gets made. But when corporations become more powerful than nations, that invisible hand stops serving humanity and starts serving shareholders. In 2008, the global financial crisis proved how fragile the system could be. Markets collapsed, millions lost homes, and yet the very institutions that caused the crash were bailed out. Critics called it socialism for the rich, capitalism for everyone else. It was the moment many realized. Capitalism without accountability isn't freedom, it's chaos. Capitalism thrives on one assumption: more is always better. More production, more consumption, more profit. But psychologists and sociologists point to an uncomfortable truth. Once basic needs are met, happiness stops rising with income. In fact, studies show that in the richest countries, rates of depression, anxiety, and loneliness have skyrocketed as wealth has grown. Even we're richer than ever before, yet emptier than ever before. So maybe the flaw isn't just economic. Maybe it's philosophical. Some believe we don't need a new system, just a smarter version of the one we have. Economists like Mariana Mazzucato argue for mission-driven capitalism, where governments direct markets towards solving grand challenges: clean energy, healthcare, and innovation that serves society, not just profit. Others, like Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz, advocate progressive capitalism. Capitalism with guardrails, fair taxation, strong unions, environmental regulation, and ethical development. Even the world's wealthiest, from Bill Gates to Elon Musk, admit capitalism needs reform. Musk himself said, "Capitalism is efficient, but not just." That's the problem. So, is there a better system than capitalism? Maybe that's the wrong question. Because capitalism isn't a static machine. It's an evolving organism. The same system that once thrived on coal can be redesigned to thrive on clean energy. The same profit motive that once exploited labour can now reward sustainability and innovation. We don't need to burn the blueprint, we need to rewrite it. History shows every major leap, from feudalism to capitalism, humanity faced crisis. Came when, and today, with climate change, inequality, and automation reshaping the world, the next transformation may already be forming. Call it sustainable capitalism. Call it democratic capitalism. Or perhaps something entirely new, a system where profit and purpose finally coexist. Let's recap. Capitalism built the modern world, but also the inequalities within it. Socialism promised equality, but struggled with freedom and innovation. Mixed models like those in Scandinavia show that balance is possible, that markets can serve people, not the other way around. The truth? No system is perfect, because every system is made of us. And as we evolve, so must the way we create, trade, and share. Maybe the next great revolution won't be against capitalism, but within it. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and check out the channel to find more amazing and new videos.